Jaguar, a luxury car manufacturer that has always been at the front of design and technology. One of the most recognizable brands in the industry, creating beautiful designs that will be loved for years to come. But did you know Jaguar is much more than just beautiful cars? It has the rich history of being the fastest production car, a celebrity favorite, and even winning a Le Mans 24-hour race while being drunk. Stick with us as we show you the story of how two motorcycle enthusiasts went on to create one of the most iconic car companies ever. Don't forget to show us some love by hitting that like and subscribe button. The beginnings of the company could be traced all the way back to a small business that created sidecars called the Swallow Sidecar Company. It was founded by two motorcycle enthusiasts who were also two Williams, William Lyons and William Walmsley. Sir William Lyons was born on the 4th of September 1901 in Blackpool. His father was an Irish immigrant who owned a musical instrument shop, and his mother, Minnie Barcroft, was the daughter of a mill owner. William Walmsley was born in the year 1892 in Stockport, England, and was the son of a coal merchant. Walmsley's family moved to Blackpool in 1921. Walmsley was a gifted mechanic. His family had a coal transporting business, and as a result he was well equipped with the knowledge on how to build coaches. He designed and created a motorcycle sidecar on a Worsoomian chassis. Its design was quite unusual, yet eye-catchy. He attached it to an ex-war department Triumph. Walmsley started refurbishing ex-war department bikes and built sidecars. His unique design was officially registered and was given a price tag of £28. This unique eye-catching sidecar soon caught the eyes of the young William Lyons. Lyons could not resist buying one. By the next year, the duo started producing sidecars commercially. Sidecars were quite popular at the time. Cars were extremely expensive at the time, and sidecars would do the job if you needed to carry an extra passenger or two. Lyons wanted to work on motor cars, and in 1927 he bought an Austin 7 chassis and built around it, and called it the Austin Swallows. They'd also worked on Fiat, Aldus, and Morris chassis. They realized that in order to expand the business, they had to move someplace else. Hence, they decided to move to Holbrook, Coventry in 1928. Lyons still wanted to produce his own cars, and this led to a shift in focus. They released the SSI Coupe sports car, and this was exhibited at the 1931 London Motor Show. Soon, they built the SS Dia, and around the same time, they decided to rename the company to Esta Carsold. In 1935, William Lyons bought the entire company in a public stock offering. William Walmsley decided to take the money and invest it someplace else. He made the Airlight Trailer Company and later Coventry Steel Caravans. In the same year, the first Jaguar model was produced. This was the first SS car with a separate model name. It was a 2.5-liter sports saloon. After the Second World War, the name SS was not well received, and to avoid any sort of connotations with the Nazi SS, William Lyons decided to change the name of the company to Jaguar. This led to the birth of Jaguar Cars Limited on the 23rd of March 1945. The year 1948 marked the production of one of the most iconic cars to date, the Jaguar XK 120. The 120 in the XK 120 stood for the 120 miles per hour speed that Jaguar claimed it would. At the time in 1948, this was considered near impossible at the time. The XK 120 was powered by a 3.4-liter dual overhead cam inline-6 engine, which could push out 160 horsepower. And proving the doubters wrong, the car could hit 120 miles per hour, and is reported to even have gone over 130 miles per hour. This was the fastest production car at the time. However, Jaguar was still lesser known compared to other car companies. To make Jaguar a household name, they decided to get involved in motorsport, and they happened to be extremely successful. The Jaguar C-Type happened to be the winner at the 24 Hours Le Mans race in 1951 and 1953. The win in 1953 happens to be one of the most iconic wins in Le Mans history. Not just because of the extraordinary driving skills, but because of the stories that revolve around it. The story goes on that the Jaguar C-Type had been disqualified for the race. As a result, the driver Duncan Hamilton, who has a nickname, Drunken Duncan, stayed up the entire night before the race. He also decided to enjoy a couple of drinks that day. But to his surprise, the Jaguar C-Type was later qualified for the race, and as a result, Drunken Duncan had to take part in the race. But this is not the end of the story. Did you know who Duncan paired up with? a former Army officer Tony Rold, and it is said that he had escaped from German prison of war camps 8 times and spent time at the Colditz prison. And in this race, the C-Type became the first car that won Le Mans, which had an average speed greater than 100 miles per hour. Whether the drunkenness of Duncan and the heroism of Rolt is true or not, the story remains a part of Jaguar history. 2 years later, in 1955, Jaguar went on to win another Le Mans 24 race, but that race was stained with blood. It was not for Jaguar's victory, but for the unfortunate accident which took at least 84 lives and injured many more. This accident is still the worst motorsport accident in history. Jaguar continued to dominate the Le Mans 24 hours race, as they won the 1956 and 1957 Le Mans. Over the years, they released the XK 140, XK 150, and in 1961, they produced the iconic Jaguar E-Type. It is often rumored that Enzo Ferrari called the E-Type the most beautiful car ever made. And indeed, it was a beauty. And as stunning as its looks is its performance. The E-Type could reach 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 7 seconds, and at a top speed of 150 miles per hour. The E-Type was very popular at its time. The E-Type, known as XKE in the US, was the first car Beatles star George Harrison bought when they started making big money. On his way to a concert in London, he crashed another E-Type and his fans collected the shards of glass as souvenirs. In 1965, the British Motor Corporation bought out the pressed steel company. Now, why would this matter for Jaguar? The thing is that pressed steel made all of Jaguar's bodies. BMC could interfere with the body supply, and at the same time, Leon was getting old and did not have a suitable hair. When BMC approached William Lyons with an offer to buy Jaguar, he thought the best choice was to sell the company. Nearly a decade later, in 1975, the British Motor Corporation, which became the British Leyland Motor Corporation, was nationalized. The company did very poorly under the BMC. This was one of the worst eras in Jaguar history, and the cars failed to meet the high standards it used to set. In 1980, Sir John Egan was installed as chairman, and in 1984, it was decided that Jaguar will be floated off as a separate company. Egan puts his efforts towards tackling the main problems that were pulling Jaguar back. Around 1/3 of the company's employees were laid off. He made sure that the cars would meet the quality it once used to, and did not lag on its delivery schedule. In 1992, Jaguar produced the Jaguar XJ220, which became the fastest production car at the time. A small reminder of the old times. On the 28th of February 1990, Jaguar was removed from London Stock Exchange, which could be a result of Ford's attempt towards buying Jaguar. It later became a part of Ford's premier automotive group alongside cars like Aston Martin and Volvo. They released the Jaguar S-Type in 1999 and the X-Type in 2001. But neither of these cars were able to create a profit for Ford. As a result, in 2007, Ford announced that they have decided to sell Jaguar and Land Rover. On the 1st of January 2008, Tata Motors was declared as the preferred bidder, and on the 18th of the same month, Tata established Jaguar Land Rover. But it was only on the 2nd of June 2008 was the sale completed. The money involved was £1.7 billion. This marked the beginning of a new era. Jaguar was fundamentally restructured. Jaguar Land Rover began making profits. Since then, Jaguar produced several cars such as the F-Type, F-Pace, XE, XF, and so on. But despite its return to profit-making days, the past few years have been sunshines and rainbows for Jaguar Land Rover. The fact that Jaguar is the smaller segment in the group does not help either. But Jaguar keeps its hopes high for the future. Jaguar released its first electric SUV, the Jaguar I-Pace, in 2018. Jaguar has said that the brand will be all-electric by 2025. But with several larger competitors already in the electric market, do you think Jaguar will be able to make its comeback? Will Jaguar reach the glory that it once used to? Let us know what you think in the comments below.